I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Vanciello.
Cody, how has your internship been?
First week so far, it's gone pretty well so far. I'm getting acclimated to the local area, and well, yeah, this is definitely something that I had my big first big boy job. It's definitely interesting. It's still a lot to learn, but it's a really great opportunity for me, honestly, and what I want to do for outside, like once I get in like the real world. But in the meantime, I still have some time left at college, so I'm gonna try to enjoy as much as possible.
That's my advice to you. Enjoy your last year of college as much as possible and prepare yourself for the real world.
Yeah,
But with that, we have um, not really much on the Iowa State calendar. Obviously, of course, the biggest thing we have the NBA Finals starting tonight.
yeah. This game one of the NBA Finals will start at 7:30, which so it's that's about like a little over 15 minutes to go. So we could low-key turn this into like a tune-up of the NBA Finals if we want here for a little bit. Obviously, the big name for Iowa State is Tyrese Halliburton. He, alongside the likes of Pascal Siakam, uh, Aaron Neesmith, Miles Turner, and Obi Toppin, Andrew Nemhard. That squad is going to be going up against Shea Gilgis Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I expect this series to be a barn burner, and this series could easily go 7 games. Like, I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if this goes 7 games.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I think it's just really going to come down to what OKC's mindset is going to be and how they are offensively, defensively. We already know that they're elite. It sort of reminds me of the early odds teams for Iowa State.
Yeah. I think I heard someone say this is the number one offense versus the number one defense. Indiana obviously having a very high powered offense. Like I mean, they can just strike it from anywhere, whether it's in the paint with Siakam, Toppin, Turner, or on the perimeter with Neesmith, Nemhart, even Halliburton. So there's a lot of options for the offense for Indiana, and then yeah, that Oklahoma City defense is just relentless. I mean, they shut down a number of stars on their path to the NBA Finals. It is no wonder that they won 68 games in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they were the number one seed. Um, yeah, I think Tyrese, like with him being the guy who's been distributing and scoring, him and Pascal Siakam, and also another point to add is that Indiana runs 10 deep. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's insane how deep this team is.
Yeah, and with a mind like Coach Rick Carlisle, I mean, you saw the way that he was able to adapt what he can craft. I mean, we saw it against the Milwaukee Bucks against Giannis in the first round, and then the second round against the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by Donovan Mitchell. Rick Carlisle with another masterclass, and then even against the New York Knicks, where New York clearly had the advantage for game one. I mean, game one, that was a very pivotal game for a big reason, obviously. Rick Carlisle able to coach up that last 2.5 minutes and overtime of game one essentially stole game one and basically the series away from New York at Madison Square Garden.
That's going to be the key. That's been something that they've been able to do these last few series is take control of the series in game one or game two, and that's huge momentum going into the Madhouse, which is Gainbridge Arena in Indianapolis. So it just gives them a great opportunity, and that'll be a great opportunity for them to get back to back finals appearances.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the greatest thing is that in these finals, there's gonna one of these teams is gonna be their first time either for their both teams' first time to win a title. So it's definitely gonna be a chess match for that's for sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you talk about the last, well, I guess the last appearances for each of these teams. Obviously for Indiana, the last time they appeared in the finals was the Reggie Miller era of Indiana, and then with Oklahoma City, I Bleav this was when they had a younger Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant on the squad. So it's been a while for both of these teams since they've last appeared in the finals, and yeah, I think it's about time for either one of those teams to win their first NBA championship.
Definitely. Yeah. So I know, we're gonna continue. I from the solo show. Obviously, Cody, we did our. I did a top five games list, and we're gonna do a top five helmets list. But before we get into that, I want to know what are your top five games in Iowa State history. It looks like we have we're having some technical difficulties. I did just ask Cody what his top five games are in history. Uh-oh, it looks like we lost him. We're gonna see if we can try to get him back in here. Um, Sorry about this. We are just having some connection issues today. Please bear with us. We're so sorry about this. All right, 1 second. I'm trying to invite him back in. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, I mean, oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, I just. Oh, there we are.
Yep. All right. Yeah, it must have been something choppy on my end. Yeah, just things going on. But what were you saying right before it
No, so
got
I was
disconnected?
just I was basically going referring back to the Monday night episode, the solo show. I was going to ask you before we get into our top five helmets for our top five favorite helmets for Iowa State. I was going to ask you what your top five favorite games are in Iowa State history.
Okay, that's putting me on the spot here. But I mean, obviously, a lot of this list is gonna be like what I attended because
Sure.
yeah, because I attended I've been a student at Iowa State during basically the most prosperous time in Iowa State athletics. So there's a lot of choices I could go here. I would say probably for me, I would start at number five. I'd have to go 2011 Cyhawk, that triple overtime thriller in Ames, 44 to 41. I mean, that's kind of what got the ball rolling for me to be an Iowa State fan because I had watched that game. Because I think at that time I was watching at my family's house, and we had just renovated the house. I mean, we got a new living room, big TV, so that was one of the first games that I watched in that place, and then just to watch the craziness that was that triple overtime game. I think that kind of was the cement, kind of the first seeds of me being an Iowa State fan and eventually finding myself in Ames. Number four, I would have to go with. I'm trying to think. It's got to be something related. I definitely go basketball here. I would have to
Hmm.
go with the whiteout game against Texas. Tyrese Hunter's return to Ames, Iowa. This was
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
the infamous Monopoly money throw. That was kind of crazy because that was my first experience of going to an Iowa State basketball game because I had heard the
Hmm.
history and the lore, and as a kid I went to a few Hoy ball games, but
Yeah.
to be in the student section, and that was my first experience fully being in the student section because my first actual game as an Iowa State student for basketball was during winter break, so it didn't hit the same. But once we had all the students back on campus, and I had no idea about the history, but it only took me a few minutes sitting in line with some then strangers who eventually became my best buddies at all the athletics events. They taught me about the lore, and from there, that was the day I made it a goal to make it to as many basketball games as possible. So there's gonna be one or two more on this list when it comes to basketball. Number three, it would have to be the Big 12 Big East Challenge against Marquette. So I think it's gonna be a theme here. It's just gonna be another whiteout, but I don't know what it is, but just watching a marquee non-con matchup in Hilton Coliseum, because I Bleav the fans have been begging for a high-named opponent to be playing against Iowa State in Hilton Coliseum, and we got it in the form of the Marquette Golden Eagles. So that was another fun atmosphere. Obviously, camped out for that. That was like one of like the probably my more favorite campouts because I mean this was when I busted out the big ice shack that I had purchased over that summer beforehand. So it was just another fun time, and yeah, uh, I would have to say number two is definitely gonna be football against Kansas State this last year. For it to
Oh,
for yeah for how historic it was. Obviously, rushing the like storming the
it was
field
insane.
after Iowa State achieving its first 10-win season ever, which had been the bane of Iowa State fans' existence since basically all time up until this point. This was just it was very fun to have been a witness to history being made, and I wouldn't have done it done any other way. I mean, just being in that building, everybody was on nerve because that game never got at it. Like it never fully expanded. And it's like, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It was just down to the wire because obviously it was Farmageddon. So you
Mm-hmm.
knew Kansas State would have loved nothing more than to not only keep us out of the Big 12 title game, but also be the bane and be the reason why Iowa State doesn't get a 10-win season this year, and they would hold that over our heads forever had they won this game. But I'm glad the boys, well, in black and white, because quite frankly, there's something about Iowa State always wearing like some combination of black and like wearing black and white against the Kansas State Wildcats at home. Like I don't know why. It just works. Whether it was what was it 2018 or 2019 with the Mike Rose strip sack,
Yeah,
or
that was in
even this
2018. They were the All Blacks. Yeah,
yeah, or it was the Darian Porter field goal block that I mean just everything shaped well for Iowa State that day. So and that night as well. And obviously we all partied after that. So it was great. What a great way to get back to campus after Thanksgiving.
definitely, man. I mean, that was the game I was at. That game was cold as hell. That'll
Yep.
probably be the coldest game I will ever go to. I mainly only went because I wanted to go see history. I'm like, if they win 10 games, I want to go on the field and like experience this.
Yeah. I
Cold
mean,
as
hey.
hell,
Yeah.
never again.
Yep. And I somehow ended up running into Cade Kelderman, Mila Momchilovich on my way out. So,
That's insane.
yep. All right. So I've got two honorable mentions before I go with go with my number one. So first honorable mention will have to have been 2018 West Virginia when Brock Purdy had his first start at Jack Trice, and it was just the David Montgomery show, running all over the West Virginia Mountaineer defense to stick a knife in West Virginia's then undefeated season.
Yes, that was that game for me was actually number three on my list.
Yeah, fair enough. And then I'd say my other honorable mention, I'd have to say, I probably put the Arizona game at Hilton with Halliburton dropped the gold medal banner.
Oh, the Gold Dog game, nice.
Yep. Yeah, I mean this is a more recent one, but it makes sense. I mean, I got to see the banner being dropped for the first basketball gold medal in Iowa State history, so that was definitely cool to see. And obviously, there's a bit personal. It was a bit personal given what happened in Tucson, so that played into it as well.
Man, yeah, it basically just came full circle at that point. Yeah, that's a
Hmm.
very nice list. We had a few games in common.
Yeah.
Like your number five was my number five.
Hmm.
I was a freshman that year, so I
Hmm.
ran onto the field with Eric, and
Nice.
I literally almost passed out because there was so much body heat. I'm like, dude, I can't do
Oh,
this.
oh yeah, because this is like what, September?
Yeah, September 2011, and you
Whew.
know what Cyhawk? What Cyhawk is either going to be pouring down rain or deathly hot. So
Yeah.
it's one of those.
Yep, I'm definitely gonna make that note for what happens when Cyhawk comes to Ames. Was it September 6th?
So people, make sure if you drink, make sure you drink plenty of water.
Or pack a rain poncho.
Pack a rain poncho. This is your friendly PSA from the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Thank you.
Yep. All right.
Uh,
And then you said, so what was your number 4?
my number four. My number four. Oh yeah, I'll tell you mine. My number four was the OU basketball game in 2015, the
Mm.
22-point comeback.
Yep.
My number three was the Oklahoma State game in 2014. Nas going down and hitting that buzzer beater three to tie it.
Ass.
Number two was the Brock Purdy debut against Oklahoma State, and then my number one game was 2021 against Oklahoma State.
Mm.
Mainly
Good one.
because, mainly because I think I told you the story about, or I talked about it on the story. I talked about the story about how I couldn't find a ride for the 2011 game, and I still kick myself for not trying to find a way to get a ride.
Hmm. So that was like kind of your redemption.
That's yeah. 2021 was my redemption. I was like, this is what I get for not staying back in 2011.
Yep. All right. So I guess for my number 1, it would have to be the Keyshawn Gilbert dagger against KU.
Oh man, what a moment! That whiteout against KU was
Yeah.
insane.
I like how all 3 of my basketball ones, they were whiteouts, because I don't know what it is, but like Iowa State, when they play in a whiteout, most of the time they win. I obviously had to witness us getting our ass beat by K State this past year in the whiteout, because Brendan Hossen
That was so embarrassing.
yeah, well, Brendan Hossen decided today was the day to just make everything and then just fall off a cliff after that. But
Yeah,
but anyways, let's not harp on that too much. 2024 Kansas. This is when I truly cemented myself as one of the biggest sickos in all of Iowa State lore, because boy oh boy, did 3 days of camping out was worth it.
yeah, dude, that was insane. I remember seeing that on Twitter. I was like, who is
Yeah,
this guy?
yeah, yeah. I know. It's just some dude. Yeah, some dudes that's sitting out in a lawn chair with a blanket in hand, having a laptop, trying to do homework while he could hear the game going on, and then eventually got a tent. And yeah, 3 days of camping out for Kansas, which obviously this was also on CBS, so that was
Right,
probably one of the main reasons why. Because CBS, I don't know what it is, but when it comes to college football or basketball, they always just they clear. They just clear in terms of the way they presentation, just the face value of it. Like everything that goes in the game experience, whether you're watching like on the TV, obviously that hits. But when you're at home, the lighting, it just looks so good. Like it just looks so good. And obviously, storm in the court. Like we were. The
yeah,
funny thing is, I think I told you this before, but me and my crew, we were not originally planning to storm the court, because I mean we were what, ranked number 23, but we were the 23, but we were the favorite heading into that game against number 7
right,
Kansas. So our original thought was, okay, we are not storming this court because we already had beaten number 2 Houston earlier in the year, so it was kind of expected for us to win these big games.
right,
But once we start feeling people pushing up, they wanted to storm the court. We're like, you know what? We're not going to stop them. Let's just do it. I don't know if we've ever done it before, but we might as well make a memory, and we did. We stormed the court. I managed to get a photo with Cy holding up the Hilton Magic flag, because that on TV, it just looks so good seeing, just being able to, because I was able to have the Hilton Magic flag just taped up on the railing. It just added to it, and I've kind of like trying to add a little more to the basketball games. when I see other teams having stuff like hang on the rails to their student sections, I want to be able to do stuff like that.
Might as well.
So yeah.
Um, that's a pretty solid list.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are continuing in our shows of just doing covering fun topics because it's sort of a this is sort of the dead time in the sports world. Obviously, we are now a month away from Big 12 Media Days. Happens on the 8th and ninth. Hopefully, I will hear back at the end of the month to see if I get credentialed or not. And
Mm-hmm.
if I do, just be prepared, everyone, for a lot of Big 12 stuff and maybe live podcasting from the Big 12, but from the Big 12 Media Days. So stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So today we are going to talk about our top five helmets in history. And there's actually a website called helmethistory.com that we're going to look at that shows every helmet in Iowa State history. So we're going to take a look at that and we're going to go to this website. And it goes from the most recent helmets that they wore this year all the way. We're going to start all the way at the bottom.
All right, this is gonna be quite interesting.
Man,
Uh, yeah. I mean, the evolution of the football helmet is one I've always studied. Like, I think I watched like an NFL like all archive video, like those NFL Vault videos. They've even taught like they even made a video about the history of helmets in general, so that's pretty cool. But it's just crazy just seeing the general evolution of football helmets. That just shows you like that's an example just the advancement in technology and the understanding of medical advancements in
mm-hmm.
human health, especially brain health. So, really cool to see. So, I guess for the purposes of this tier list, we're gonna start like with 1967 because we got to start like with some like actual logos. So,
Right.
all right. So, you want to go first?
Yeah. Um. So what number five automatically is 1967. Like walking sigh on the helmet is something I have wanted for the longest time, dude. Having
Yeah.
walking sigh on the helmet or having walking sigh in the middle of the field will be elite.
Mm-hmm. Maybe even put it in the end. Well, I guess you couldn't really put it in the end zone, but like you could maybe put it like the 25-yard line. That would be a nice touch. Or like you have like, but I would say midfield probably be the best place to put it. But maybe you
Yeah,
want to
put a
keep it up
25
front.
yard line or
Maybe
even
put
the
it.
sigh that with the
I
football
would.
helmet.
I'm hopeful that
Yeah,
comes back. But I mean, it's nice to wear. Like that's definitely a universal logo, and I really will hope that maybe one day Iowa State does use walking sign more because it's one of those logos that like it's timeless. It doesn't matter when you use it, whether you use it in the '60s, the '70s, or even right now. It just works.
definitely. All right, what's number five for you?
Let's see here. I'm looking through here. Number five for me would I'm gonna have to go with the 1987 through 94 uh, gold helmets with the Cardinal script cyclones.
Ooh, very good choice.
Yeah.
That's an elite pick
Mm-hmm.
right there.
Yeah, I mean there are a few elite logos here, so I gotta start like pretty solid here. I think yeah, it's just the script cyclones, and I really like the helmet car. I remember it. I don't think it was the exact script cyclones, but I remember seeing a photo of it when when this year, like this past year, the football team had really leaned more into the script cyclones. I remember seeing the old picture of the helmet car, and it was very much like this late '80s, early '90s helmet.
Definitely, very good pick. All right,
Mm-hmm.
number four for me. Uh, number four for me. If you go to 1976 to 1978, I I like this ISU into the black eye with that being cardinal with the white ISU letters with the gold helmet. I like that look. I really really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I it's one of those rare cases where like a block eye and it actually doesn't look that horrible. It's just because of the white outline. I think it really helps give a little bit of contrast to the gold. And then seeing like the spell at ISU, it's pretty solid. Like it's not too bad. And also you do also note the stickers, the football side. That also helps, like because football
Right.
side is definitely like one of my one of the better alternate logos that I've seen. And I think maybe instead of if it's not a walking side, you put football side at center field at midfield.
That's what I would do. If it's not that, it'd be definitely be football side for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All
Okay.
right.
Let's see here. My number four. Come on, this one does have the block eye, but do you remember the chrome domes
Oh yes,
from the Brock Purdy years? The chrome domes.
yes.
If there was any good time for the block eye logo, it was the chrome domes.
So the one that who is that? Is that Alan Lazard? No,
No, that's
that's
Dave
David.
Montgomery. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
Dave
the Chrome
Montgomery.
Domes. They need to bring those back.
Yep. I was hopeful. I was so hopeful they'd bring back those chrome domes, but man, I don't know. Like maybe you know what? Wear it for Cyhawk. I want them to bust out the chrome domes for Cyhawk.
That would be fire.
Yeah, for sure.
All
Yep.
right, number three. I like if we go to 1983 to 1986. This little funky bugle right here with the Iowa State lettering.
Mm-hmm.
That's number three for me. That's pretty funky right there. This is
Tornado.
like right before Script Cyclones. So that's
Oh
number
yeah,
three for me.
yeah. This looks like the Ornado.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah, I think yeah. I just think Ornado's another one of those like logos that like you could put like in any time period and it would be too bad. Maybe like this, maybe put in this current time period, it might look a little dated, but I think in general it works with like 90% of the time eras.
Yes, I agree. This
Yep.
if we brought this one back, I would not be mad.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Just looking through here. Number three for me, I may go with the whiteout stormtrooper helmets we wore against Baylor.
Ooh, the white ones.
Yeah. The white ones. Yeah. I say like
Nice.
obviously bringing back script cyclones that's been a big thing, but just the way it just it looked like stormtrooper like the way it was like I had fun like calling like Iowa State like we were just the stormtroopers and I knew obviously there's a bit of history with like Iowa State and Star Wars like because we had sold some like Mandalorian stuff at like the bookstore, but just something about like I mean this is a case where black and white it did work because we were doing it in the whiteout so it just looked really nice just the it was just a fun time. And I think the whiteout did it was done well, and obviously the game and the manner in which it was just it was like kind of like the point where it's like okay, yeah, Iowa State is legit. Like we're not just beating teams, we're beating up on teams, like and we're protecting home fields. So for the
Well,
most
it
part,
was
so it's cool.
yeah, and it was the funniest thing because all the younger generation was ragging on the old people. They'd be like, "Y'all better wear white." They're like, "Okay, we're bringing the extra shirt with us," and everybody wore white. So,
Yeah, because I think
whew.
it's much easier for people like to just wear like white Iowa State gear because it just looks better. Because like some of the other color games we tried, I think Color Cardinal was good, but it was just the weather in which it happened. It was a big, it was obviously August. It was the first like game, so it was gonna be pretty. It was still gonna be hot, so I think it was done well. The Color Cardinal game for the first game of the year was done pretty solidly. It's just the way, like it was just because of the weather. So
You're just baking in the sun. You're like, please.
yeah, you're either baking, getting sunburnt, or a combination of both.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then just to ramble a little bit. Um, I remember when we talked about these different helmet combinations in 2017, 2018. I'd
Mm-hmm.
like to see like this red ISU helmet that we wore against Akron in 2017. That's something that I want to see, but I want to see all red. You know how we did for the Stormtroopers game?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want it with all red letters. Now that
Hmm.
would be fire. Like you know how it was all like the white jerseys with black lettering,
Yeah.
white jerseys with red lettering with this helmet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, yeah, we do. Yeah, just like with the white, like with the white jerseys that we wore, that like we saw recent, like the most recent game against Utah
Yes,
last year.
and make everything red.
Hmm. I mean, we either look like Team Canada or Team Poland, but hey, fine, fine with me.
Yeah, and then we talked about the red with the black with yeah. But now this black one right here,
Oh
the
yeah,
I yeah
cause I remember you tried finding like you tried to figure out which game this was. Cause I remember you
yeah.
mentioned like,
So I remembered that it was the first time they debuted this was against Baylor in 2018.
oh wait,
The
was
fight
this
game,
what
yeah.
Dave? Yes, the clip from Sound Off on Twitter. Dude, that thing legitimately turned into like Friday Night SmackDown. I mean,
Yeah,
what you
dude.
have some Baylor dude trying to punch like David Montgomery, but then David Montgomery's all about it. And that was fun. I think that was what I really like loved David Montgomery. I was like, dude, I really wanted like I was like that was just just a brawl, and I was just here for it.
That's when you knew he was a real one, like
Hmm.
for real.
Yeah, that was when you could trust a teammate. That's when you could trust a teammate.
Yeah, bro was ready to risk it all.
Yeah, he was ready to throw down.
Yeah, throw them hands. All right, and then we're gonna go to my number two pick. Obviously, my number two pick is the Script Cyclones, of course. I'm gonna go with the more the ones that we wore this year.
Hmm.
I like the 2024 version,
Yeah.
where the ones we wore against Utah.
Hmm.
With yeah, I love that.
I I definitely I'm so glad that we like I think we're now leaning more into like script cyclones. So it was kind of nice to see football like we're leaning more to like our other like logos, so just aren't like just doing like the block eye, because obviously the block eye has a lot of flack. So like a lot
It
of
get yeah,
criticism.
it gets like I will say, it is fair that the criticism doesn't get. I will say though that the I State did help us. People know who we are now. Like
Yeah. And now we can show off like we now can show off
right,
these other logos that like we can use on a more regular basis, because
yes,
we there's gonna be that association with Iowa State. So yeah, I mean the block eye isn't exactly great on face value, but I mean I basically grew up in that era, and like no coincidence, like it's just a coincidence that it also is just ushered in like our most successful era, which is allows us to expand
hmm
these things. So I mean on like while you're still on this page, well actually go down. I have to give
sure,
my number two.
yeah. Just tell me when to stop.
Oh, keep going, keep going. Stop. It's gonna have to be the Cynado, 1995, 2002.
Ooh,
So this is
so
just
that's number two for you. Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's Cynado. Like, there's no doubt. I mean, this is the one like I grew up as a really young kid. I mean, I was like about what 3 when I first like when I
Mm-hmm.
saw those. It was like cool to see, and now it's just like one of those things where like it's now basically a vintage item, so it's really cool to have, because I really think that maybe like this is another one of those logos where I think we can go back to. We could just swap out like if we don't want the blue, we could just swap it out for black, because we know Matt Campbell likes oops, Matt Campbell does tend to wear like black a lot, so it's like we can obviously swap it out. Like we can, but it would be kind of cool to keep that like that blue. I know a lot of people like some other people may not
The
like it, but
tertiary blue, yeah.
yeah, tertiary. But it's a nice like. it's just a nice like subtle color like to have. I don't know get like exactly where the hate's like coming from, but I just found it to be a really like cool logo, and that's kind of where I first like knew about like Iowa State. Like that's I was like, oh, it's a cool like bird in a tornado. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. I'm really excited to see what your number one is.
Hmm.
Obviously, we're gonna stay in the same spot. My number one is Sinado. Dude,
Hmm.
Sinado is my phone background. I
Hmm.
use Sinado a lot. I think it's the coolest logo. I think it's the best retro '90s logo in the Big
Yeah.
12. To be honest,
Yeah. I always feel like when anybody talks about like Big 12 like retro logos, people always love like they always love the side NATO like, and it's not just Iowa State fans, but I think a lot of other Big 12 fans like love like the look of the side NATO.
like you guys need to go back to. I'm like, yeah, I know.
You're not wrong.
We're trying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're starting somewhere. We're going back to retro logo, so this is gonna lead up to my number one. So go back all the way up to the top.
Okay, script cyclones.
Yeah, it's just the one it's just the one you talked about. Your number two.
Okay, okay.
It's like it's just solid. Like there's just solid. Like, it just works so well. The white with like cardinal and like the gold trim on it. It just looks so beautiful. When I saw this, I'm like, this is automatically my number one. Like I don't know. It's the frosty whites. Like it's just a frosty white to go. Like it just works so well.
Definitely does.
And I
Man,
definitely think like if we want to do another whiteout, if we don't want to do stormtroopers, just bust out the frosty whites with cardinal and gold. There you go.
yes, I'd be down for that. I
Mm-hmm.
bet you we do that.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of that, hold on. We're gonna we gotta go to Twitter for this one
Hold on. Wait.
because there we go, bruh. I saw this and I
It's not.
lost my mind.
Uh, it's not updated on my end. So
Oh, man,
the
I was
what?
hold on. I'm gonna go through my
Yeah.
retweets
Sure.
because it's in my retweets. But do you know
Oh,
what I'm talking about?
hold on. Let me go. Let me see. Let me go find. Let me see what you put on Twitter. Uh, nope. Nope. Okay. I'm not seeing it. So. Oh wait. It. Hold on. Let me see if maybe I can share this to
Okay,
your
yeah.
page.
Did you
Uh,
find it?
wait. Is it this you're talking about?
Yes. See, I need this. I need this in my life. If we do this, because dude, this is the 1965 walking side with with the Ireland flag in his mouth, bro,
Oh, oh, that's the Ireland one. Oh, I
bro.
didn't even notice that. Okay, wait,
Yeah,
and then you got the clover leaf, and then I'm trying to figure out this pattern. I don't remember the exact pattern, but yeah,
it has an explanation on.
oh yeah, right here. Okay. Oh yeah, cycling uniform track. I'm assuming they um this is a mock that they made up, but
Yeah, it's a
really
mock they
cool.
made, but
But this is really cool. Yeah, so if you're watching the stream, just gonna read like some of the details here. So yeah, mentioned the Irish flag held by Cy on helmet and both bumpers. You got the Celtic or Celtic, not however you pronounce, however you pronounce in your language, but you got the
Celtic.
Celtic, yeah, Celtic knot. Uh, you've got the Killarney font, bringing Irish authenticity. and you got the Shamrock as well. And yeah, this is really cool. Like I don't know if like that would be kind of crazy if our like a uniform department managed to actually pull this off.
I will be elated if they find a way to do this. I'm gonna need. I just need. They need to like if they find a way to do this, they need to find a way to make that walking side helmet with the Ireland flag a shirt, dude. Either that or a crew neck, because they're going to be taking all my money if they do that.
Yeah.
Take it all. Take it all.
Assuming that you're still gonna have money left over from the trip from your trip in Ireland.
Good point.
Yeah, because I don't know how much you're probably gonna be like you might be out of money after spending it all like
On the
on
beer.
Irish food and Guinness.
You're probably right. You're probably right, Cody.
Yeah,
Spending it all on food and beer.
the most Iowa State thing you can do. You go to a place, you just have a bunch of beer.
What happened to all your money? Oh, I spent it on food and beer.
Well, it's like, wait, how? And then you say like, oh, I went to Ireland, so
They're like,
okay,
oh.
Guinness. That makes sense. That's some good stuff right there. The stouts, that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, there's some people there. People think that they can outdrink the Irish. I'm like, you guys, I don't think that this is going to be a time where we can outdrink where we're not going to drink a place dry like the Irish like to drink. We're not going to win this war this time.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there might be enough bodies in there. We're gonna definitely put a dent.
Well, I mean, we'll try, but man, the Irish are crazy, man.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? You might see Sheamus over there again.
I mean, there's gonna be Friday Night SmackDown the day before the game, so
Yeah, so
I
who
know
knows?
I'm gonna try to go.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last year when college game day. Oh, oh, college game day. Oh, this one's gonna hit hard. 'Cause I Bleav this is gonna. Is this the last college game day for Lee Corso?
I think it's I believe so. Did they confirm that College Game is gonna be there?
I'd have to see. Like I'd have to remember because I remember like Lee Corso is retiring from broadcasting after one of the college game days.
It's sort of been long overdue because you see that he's like sort of slurring over his
Yeah,
words, so it's been long
yeah.
overdue.
Oh, one, week
Week
one
one,
of college
okay,
football.
yeah.
So
So
one of his last shows is I'm assuming going to be uh
Georgia
Ireland,
Clemson, yeah,
but George Clemson wouldn't be surprised. All right.
yeah, that's what it is. But uh, here we are, guys. We're ending this show off, of course, with talking about our sponsor, MyBookie.
Yeah. Obviously, the NBA Finals has just tipped off about 20 minutes ago. So, and right now, giving a live update, the Oklahoma City Thunder are up by up 14 to 10. So I'm gonna assume that a lot of you guys have probably placed bets on who was like gonna win Finals MVP, how long the series is gonna go, and who's winning the championship. So that's just one of the many bets that you can make on my bookie. And yeah, I mean, we're looking looks like to be the live spread.
Yep. Last spread now is -10. So if you want to bet the Pacers, they're -105. They're pretty good odds for the money line right now, +379, and then you can bet the over under. If you are a hockey guy,
Stanley
we
Cup
have
Finals.
Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, game one was crazy. It went to overtime last night. The Edmonton Oilers ultimately pulled out the win off of Leon Draisaitl goal to win that game one 4-3. And it looks like tomorrow is going to be game two between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers looking to continue to protect home ice against the Florida Panthers, and if and this is definitely a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup final where the Florida Panthers did win. So maybe an extra chip of motivation for the Edmonton Oilers to stick it to Florida this time and bring Canada back its first Stanley Cup trophy since the 1993 Montreal Canadiens. So
Yeah,
Friday, June 6th, Edmonton, Florida. Game two.
Yeah, and then if you are one of those sickos, sports sickos that likes tennis, we also have the French Open right now. If you want to bet Novak Djokovic against Yannick Sinner, um, that starts at 1 p.m. So
I'm
if you're
definitely
one of
curious to
those,
see like how one would bet tennis.
I don't know because there's a five, plus 5.5 point spread. I guess I don't even know how
Yeah,
you
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
even know how you would bet
I don't
that.
want to know, but like if you somehow know how that works, go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah.
like we always say, if you know ball, go and make money. And here is how you do it: you go and you log in, you press on this thing, join now. There is a referral thing. Make sure you type in the Bleav in Iowa State podcast, BLEAV. That's how you do it. Type in BLEAV, and you get all these different types of boosts. You get a for this is for baseball. We're in the dead of baseball season now. 50% match up to 100,000 or not 100. Jeez, $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. FIFA World Cup, FIFA Club World Cup, all the club teams. So this is like an unofficial Champions League, basically. So you have a FIFA Club World Cup 25K bracket contest, $15 entry, buy two get one free, and then just throughout the summer, uh, boosted parlays. So if you're a guy or gal that likes to do parlays, this is where you need to be at MyBookie. And they also have an endless summer promotion where you can win 500K plus in casino prizes, spins cash, tournaments, and more. June 2nd through July 27th. So uh, MyBookie has all is the one stop shop for everything betting. So like we always said, if you know ball, go and make money. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys for joining us on the Bleav in Iowa State podcast tonight. I hope you guys have had as much fun as we have. Just a few things before we go. We are a top 15 sports podcast in the state of Iowa, nominated by Feed Spot. Thank you, Feed Spot. Thank you, State of Iowa listeners. Thank you, everybody. Uh, to find us on Twitter, Cody can be found on Twitter at Matt Campbell Impersonator. Cody, what are you talking about these days on Twitter?
Well, I'm drowning in my own sorrows because the Braves, after this latest stretch, not doing great. But on the bright side, I'm mostly talking about Tyrese Halliburton right now and the NBA Finals. So we'll be talking about that for the next week, and may or may not throw some jabs at the New York Knicks.
Yeah, Knicks fans are the worst. And oh, not yet, not yet. And you can find me at Side Tie Guy. We had, if you were paying attention to your ESPN ticker, um, great news on the White Sox. It looks like there is going to be starting in 2020. There's going to be starting a transition of ownership. So it looks like the SBF family could be in control by the year 2029 to own the White Sox, which is great. If you don't know, if you didn't know, White Sox fans hate their own team more than any other team does. So if another person tells you that they hate the White Sox, I'm like, no, I don't believe you. Are you no White Sox he's gone and that we can finally get into a new direction. Sort of sucks that I have to wait till almost me being 40 years old to see a winning team on South Side. But that's just sour grapes. But yeah, go White Sox. All right, and lastly, follow us on social media: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. So for Tyler Carter,
And for Cody Vanciello,
this is the Bleav in Iowa State podcast. Roll clones, baby.
Pacers in 6.